Hello there, From17 once again, bringing you the start of Chapter 10. In this, my Dead Space 2 Zealot difficulty video walkthrough. And what you're going to notice here is, this is the very beginning of Dead Space 1, where you first got off the ship and got your first introduction to the USG Ishimura. The only difference being now is, it looks a hell of a lot different than it did back then, and anybody who's played Dead Space 1 knows exactly why. And this is an interesting chapter, this, because there's not a lot of fighting in it, but when you do fight, it's very challenging, so you've got to be careful. But this is the very first room that on the first game you came in with the black guy and the woman, and you had to press the switch, and then the necromorphs turned up and started killing them dudes that were weird. But now it's all completely covered because it's been refurbished, they're doing repairs and everything. And the start of this level, there's not a single enemy to be found, but because it's so atmospheric and because the sound is so good, you're going to be on edge through this entire part unless you've played it before and you know there's no dangers, but it's still pretty damn scary when you're exploring. The first time you're going to be fighting anything is going to be a brute, and it jumps out at you on a really long corridor, and you're going to know when this corridor is because it's super long, and there's a ton of the little lights, the fluorescent tubes that you can crack that glow, and there's a ton of those, so that's how you know that your fighting's going to start, basically. So just keep following your waypoint, collecting all the stuff you can, and make your way through this eerily familiar territory, because that's where you turn the button and then the necromorphs attacked, and then you had to turn and run into this elevator that's over here, and you had no weapon at the start, so you just run in, and it was terrifying.
I'm gonna have to go down to engineering. This should be interesting.
But yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, there's a couple of rooms, and you're going to be able to tell what's going to happen in them, because it's the same thing that happened in the first game, but there's a lot more in this, a lot more necromorphs in this one, so it makes the fights a lot more challenging. And you're going to see me blitz this start bit because I know I'm not in any threat for being injured, and I know nothing's going to jump out on me, so I literally bomb as fast as I can through this first section to get to where the combat starts and where I can actually start helping your guys beat the game, because exploring is definitely not the difficult thing about Dead Space. That's one thing I will say. But it is an enjoyable aspect of the game, and when we come down here, this is the place you've got your very first plasma cutter, with the immortal message on the wall scrawled in blood saying "cut off their limbs," and it was on that bench just there. So it's kind of cool, this. It's kind of, you know, a big homage to the first game. And there's a workbench here, so I have 4 nodes. I'm going to be upgrading some shiz. First thing I'm doing is I'm going to drop damage upgrade on there. Look at that, 12.5. Javelin's going to start kicking some ass. And my force gun is kind of upgraded. It's got a really long circuit though. This gun can probably get really powerful if you invest a lot of nodes in it. But I'm thinking about it because I don't want to waste stuff, and I'm not paying 5,000 to reset, because that's bullshit. That should be free. So I'm committing to the alternate fire on the force gun. I'm looking at my rig, I'm looking at my stasis, and this is when I realised that I've not upgraded my stasis at all, and I've told your guys to do it. So as you can see, I dropped 3 almost instantly on it, because stasis is so useful. I can't even stress that enough. Stasis can literally save your life. Like, if I have an option between having a full heal and a full stasis, I'm going to take the stasis every time, because it's just more useful. But anyway, carry on through this eerie ship. And here we go. You're in absolutely no threat right now, so regardless of how intimidating it sounds, nothing's going to attack you, so don't worry. Just reminisce in these awful environments at the hellish trouble you had the first time through when you played Dead Space 1. And there's a save point on the wall there, so make sure you save. and just raid all the lockers you find and pick up as much stuff as you can, because this first fight is tough. You're going to be fighting 2 brutes in a row, and then when you kill the second brute you're going to have a ton of necromorphs spawn on you, and they come through the grates in the floor. And there's a handful of pukers, I think they're the black pukers as well, and a handful of the normal necromorphs that die in 2 shots if you've got decent accuracy. And it can very quickly go bad. I had it go bad on me a few times when I first got here, and on my recording run I died the first time because I just completely got swarmed. But you've just got to be careful. And it's very dark, which is why it's difficult, because you can't see. And this is the start of the corridor. There's nothing directly here, but this leads out into the one you have to fight in. So just keep running, collect all the shit you can, pick up the ammo, and through this door. Look at this. This is dark, this is intimidating, and this is the fight room. And when you get to that pack of crates, a brute's going to burst out of it, and it shit me up the first time. So there he is, and the first thing I do is I stasis him. So I shoot, stasis, shoot him with my javelin. I'm not going to mess about with my secondary function, because I can't move when I do it, and I can't interrupt it, so I would die. As soon as he gets close, stasis him, run behind him, and shoot the shit out of him. Just keep spamming, he's going to charge again. As soon as he gets close, don't risk it, stasis, run behind him, reload your gun, and then just plow into him again. The javelin's your best friend here because its impact damage is really high, and look at that. Admittedly, I was kicking his ass, but it's still a great gun to use, and it does do some massive damage. And now that he's dead, when you push forward, there's going to be another one. And as you see there, the light flashing on my back, that's me trying to refill my stasis because I know there's a second brute. But luckily enough, the game provides you with a module, so you shouldn't have any problems with getting a full stasis. And just pick up the stuff you can and just get ready for the next encounter. There's a stasis rod. Use that on him to freeze him. I miss somehow. Don't even know what happened then, it didn't even detonate. But he's coming for me. I'm shooting him. Stasis, run behind him. Be careful because you can get hit if you get too close to them when you're trying to get around them, because the hit detection's kind of weird. Stun him, shoot him, reload, get behind him, and just keep dicking him. And it's just repeat, repeat, repeat till he drops down and leaves you a superconductor. And he's dead. And right now, enemies are spawning, so back up as quickly as you can and just take them out, and keep watching your back because you know there's going to be dudes behind you. So I run when I see it clear, I spin round, and there we go, another necromorph just spawned, but it's the normal ones. There's the black puker. Oh no, sorry, that's not a puker, that's just a black necromorph. And there's a fatty as well, so watch out for him. If you don't kill him successfully, he will release the little shits, but the force gun's brilliant against them. So, still a couple more. And when it's clear, run around, stamp them, get your ammo, and carry on, basically. And as usual, reload every weapon to make sure that you've got a full clip in each of them, because there's nothing worse than getting caught with your pants down, and it does happen. And here's a nice little stasis refill for you. And all you have to do is run across here and hack the wall. There's a lot of shit being knocked off on top of that balcony, but don't worry about it because you won't have to fight anything until you go up. There's a nice power node there, so don't forget that. And you've got to hack that before this will work, so I don't know why I stood on that. But the hacking's simple. Even though my strategy still isn't 100% foolproof, it's still not difficult to do. And just keep making your way through the USG Ishimura. And some of the fights coming up are pretty challenging, so... And the only reason they're challenging because there's a lot of necromorphs. They throw a ton of enemies at you, and it's ball ache. But anyone who played the first one will recognise this area as the tram stations. And they have the same loot as they did on Dead Space 1, so check the familiar areas. And once again, reload all your shit, make sure you've got fresh clips, and keep following your waypoint. Because this section, it's more about the atmosphere than anything else. It's not as hectic as some of the later areas, or even as some of the earlier ones, but it is a nice little trip down memory lane. It's a nice little nostalgia piece. And in here is a safe room, so you can save, you can use the shop, you can sell your shit, you can do your thing. But we're coming to the end of this video, guys, so thanks for watching. Please rate my videos, it helps a lot, and you take care now.